Hey guys, this is Bharadwaj with Phone Arena. As you know, we've been reviewing and comparing the HTC Butterfly here with other devices, for example, like the Lumia 920, the iPhone 5, and the Nexus 4. So we thought we should compare it with the Galaxy S3 too. So the Galaxy S3 was launched last year in 2012 May, and this is still Samsung's smartphone flagship if you don't consider the Galaxy Note 2 to be a smartphone. So this is the smartphone flagship and has been winning a lot of accolade and reviews, great reviews worldwide, and has been a sales performance like anything, like Samsung's one of the best Samsung smartphones ever made. So that's about the Samsung Galaxy S3 and HTC Butterfly. As you know, we've been repeatedly telling you that it's one of the first phones to come with the 1080p display, and that's the most ridiculous advantage that it has over other phones. So it's a 5-inch 1080p panel, and it's absolutely beautiful. And HTC has been great at introducing great screens in their smartphones, and the One X is a testament to that. So we are going to compare both these devices and let's see what happens. So let's talk about the design of both these devices. The Samsung Galaxy S3, when it launched, had a controversial design. People didn't like it instantly. Some people loved it, but till we got it in our hands, we felt that it was kind of really cheap for a premium device. So this is made of a plastic that Samsung claims it's polycarbonate, but this removable cover back here feels very light, so we doubt that claim. But anyway, this is a glossy plastic on the back, and on the sides it has a glossy chrome colored plastic, and it's slightly curved, as you can see here. And it has the design philosophy that that Samsung calls as the nature UX. So this is shaped like a pebble. So even in the lock screen, you can see that the water ripple effect makes it like what Samsung calls as the nature UX. So the Sense UI, on the other hand, is what HTC has. But otherwise, the design with the hardware and concern, this pretty much looks like the One S, unlike the One X. So the display is very tall, being a 16:9 screen. It's very tall, and the side bezels are really narrow, so that the display itself is very narrow, and it is definitely not huge. It is tall, however, very tall, and the design completely echoes what HTC's has been doing for the past year. So it resembles the One series, but there is a lot of differences when it comes to the build. So the HTC Butterfly has a soft touch back. We are not sure if it's made of polycarbonate or just plastic, but it has a nice soft touch back which increases the grip when you hold the phone like that. And it's made of 3 layers. So the center layer is a nice red accent, which goes well with the black and the red, and there is also other color variants for this device. So this stainless steel is a band in the middle, and above the stainless steel rim you can see that there is a layer just below the display. So the display is not as curved as on the One X, but still looks good on the side. So the sides are flat, unlike the One X, and it's completely flat, which with a nice curved back, so it nicely fits in your hand. Build wise, we don't have much to say for the Galaxy S3. It's nice when you consider that it won't break. It's made of completely unbreakable plastic, and it's very robust. We definitely like the side material more than the glossy back, and since this is a removable cover, that adds a bit of an advantage. While you put down the device, it rarely tends to break. And the placement of the buttons, on the other hand, is nice, with the power button on the right, easily accessible with your thumb, and the volume rocker on the left. Unlike the HTC Butterfly, it has ports all over the phone. So the volume rocker is on the right hand side, but the power switch is on the top center. Unlike the 1X, which had the power button on the top right, this is a improvement, but still we consider that it will be slightly harder to reach the power button than on the Galaxy S3, which can be easily accessed on the sides. So that's about the design, build and ergonomics of both these devices. Let's take the thickness for a count then. So both these devices are very similar in thickness. As you can see here, the S3 is 9 millimeters thick, 8.9 to be exact, and this is just a 0.1 millimeter above that. It's 9.08 millimeters thick. So both are ridiculously thin devices, and the weights are also very similar, with the Galaxy S3 weighing at 135 grams and the HTC Butterfly weighing at 140 grams. But we might be able to notice the weight, maybe more weight on the Galaxy S3, because the surface area of the HTC Butterfly is, the surface area of the HTC Butterfly is very large, so the weight is equally distributed and doesn't feel that heavy. So even if you are using it with a single hand, it doesn't feel that heavy. Unlike the S3, which might feel heavier than the Butterfly, but not at all heavy, it's also very light. So both these phones are very pocketable and nice to have. So that's about the dimensions of both these devices. And next up we can talk about the display. So this display is a 5-inch Full HD 1080p panel from HTC, incorporating its SLCD3 technology. So it's a beautiful display with extreme color accuracy and nice color rendition, but we feel it's a quite cool display with whites bordering on bluish white rather than complete white. So that's not a letdown. It's a thing with certain displays, and certain displays display color like differently with certain whites. So the display is overall amazing. On the other hand, you have the Galaxy S3, which has a 4.8-inch 720p display, which is 1280 by 720. One thing we have to do note that this is an AMOLED display, so the colors are highly saturated and blacks are ridiculously black with infinite contrast. That is not the case with the LCDs. So other thing you have to consider that this is not a RGB panel. This is a RGBG AMOLED pentile display. So text looks a bit fuzzy even though it's a 720p screen. I don't know if you can notice on the video, but the text definitely looks fuzzy when you take a look at it up close. So you cannot distinguish pixels with this display. So when you compare both these phones, when it comes to the display, we definitely choose the HTC Butterfly over the AMOLED pentile screen. Although it's very good, the text is fuzzy and pentile is not really optimal for reading or browsing. So let's talk about other things in both these phones. Internal hardware first. So both these phones have quad-core processors, but let's talk about the Samsung one first. So the Samsung Galaxy S3 has a Exynos 4412 quad-core 1.4 GHz processor, and it has a Mali T400 chip, which is a quad-core graphics chip. We're not exactly sure of the number, but it definitely has a quad-core graphics chip. So on the other hand, the HTC Butterfly is one of the devices to run on the Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 Pro processor, which is a quad-core processor with frequency slated at 1.5 GHz, and it has the powerful Adreno 320 graphics, which is able to drive the screen with fluidity and everything and whatnot. So in terms of raw performance, both these devices perform adequately well, and the Android system blazes through thanks to Project Butter on the Android 4.1.1 Jelly Bean. But we did notice quite a few lags in the HTC Butterfly, majorly probably due to that 1080p screen, which is very hard to drive for mobile GPUs. Consider this. This has the same resolution as the 40 and above inch TV that you have in your home. So that's a lot of resolution packed into a small screen, and that becomes somewhat a struggle for some mobile GPUs to render the screen. So we noticed a bit of a lag, but otherwise the system blazes through, and the Galaxy S3 is absolutely one of the fastest smartphones in the planet. So there is nothing to complain about the performance. But in terms of raw performance, the S4 Pro scores higher in benchmarks. You can check out our HTC Butterfly benchmarks post if you want. The links down below. So benchmarks are pretty much Qualcomm S4 Pro territory and easily wins over. But otherwise, both these phones are very powerful and definitely deserve the top end price tag that they have. So that's about the performance. Let's take a look at the cameras then. So the HTC Butterfly comes with a very similar camera as the One X, and that is a 8 megapixel f2.0 backside illuminated sensor with a single LED flash. So it has an image sense chip just like the One X. It allows you to take pictures while you're recording video. 6 megapixel pictures that is. So that's a unique feature that is attributed to the camera on the HTC Butterfly. And also the interface is very nice, allowing you to take very fast photos with absolutely zero shutter lag, because it always does continuous autofocus. As you can see here, if the focus is ready, it will take a photo just like that, and that's how fast it takes photos. It's almost zero shutter lag, and that's the thing you have to note about the HTC Butterfly. On the other hand, the Galaxy S3 has a similar 8 megapixel camera unit, but has a larger aperture at f2.8, and this is also backside illuminated. So we have a very powerful LED flash too here. So HTC claims that the f2.0 aperture allows the Butterfly and the other similar cameras to take great photos in low light, but we found no differences between the night mode of the HTC and the Galaxy S3. So both phones take adequately lit photos well, but struggle in low light like any other phone camera. Well, again, you have to notice that the daytime image quality on the Galaxy S3 is slightly better than the One X, which is very similar to the Butterfly's camera. So we are assuming that the same image processing algorithm that is on the One X is running on the HTC Image Sense chip, which is a dedicated chip, by the way. So otherwise, it's pretty much neck to neck in terms of camera performance, and both these cameras are very nice for today's standards. So both these phones record full HD 1080p video, and both these phones can record audio at with stereo mics. So only thing apart from the camera, HTC has an advantage over the S3 is the Beats Audio. Beats Audio technology is the software audio enhancement that's built into the HTC Butterfly. It also has a dedicated amplifier for the speaker in terms of hardware. So that's a good thing going for the HTC One X, the HTC Butterfly, but the Galaxy S3 doesn't have anything like that. So regarding the RAM, the Galaxy S3 has 1 gigabyte of RAM and comes with 16 and 32 gigabytes of storage. It also has a micro SD card slot. And the HTC Butterfly has 2 gigabytes of RAM with 16 and 32 gigabytes of storage, and of course it has a micro SD card slot that was lacking in previous HTC devices, unibody devices especially. So that's a good thing for the HTC Butterfly. Good to know that HTC has learned from their mistakes in the past. So that's about the comparison of the hardware. Let's take a look at the software then. So the Samsung runs Android 4.1.1 Jelly Bean, and recently it got the 4.1.2 update, which is a small update just for Samsung TouchWiz. So basically it's 4.1 Jelly Bean with TouchWiz UI on the top, and Samsung calls it the Nature UX. So there are a lot of things on the Galaxy S3, but let's talk about the HTC Butterfly first. So this, similar to the Galaxy S3, runs on Android 4.1 Jelly Bean and has Sense 4 Plus UI on the top. So both these devices running on Jelly Bean means they have the Google Now, which is Google's artificial intelligence and predictive assistant that helps you with a lot of things. Google Now is pretty awesome and really great for predictive assistance. And of course, with 4.1 came the Project Butter. So that eliminated most of the lags in the Android operating system and enabled very smooth operation of the UI on all the devices. As you can see, the Galaxy S3 blazes through, but we can see the HTC Butterfly struggling a bit, maybe due to the 1080p resolution. But otherwise, both these phones are enabled by Project Butter, and that's a big thumbs up from us, because it was one of the few complaints that were associated with Android, and 4.1 completely removed that. But coming to the software enhancements by Samsung and HTC, Samsung definitely leads the pack with a lot more things, lot more customizability and everything else. So when it comes to Sense 4 Plus versus TouchWiz, Sense lacks a lot of useful features like the notification center having quick toggles. That's a bit of a letdown, but it might be fixed with the 4.2 update, because Android itself, from the OS perspective, has brought the two-finger slide down, which enables the quick action menu. So that might be fixed with Sense on 4.2, but still, as of now, it's lacking a lot of features that the S3 on TouchWiz has. So even for changing the wallpaper, you can just hold down the long press and change wallpaper for each page, unlike the HTC, which does nothing but allows you to just change the widgets and add them to the screen here. Both different functionalities, but still we would prefer to change the wallpaper when you long press on the screen. And also, if you have to change the brightness or anything, you have to dig into the settings menu for everything, literally everything. Even if it's arranged nicely, much better than what TouchWiz has, you have to dig into the menu, and that doesn't solve anything, does it? So that's a bit of an annoyance with associated with Sense, but it's definitely a more refined UI, and we like the nice multitasking switcher that it comes with. So another thing about the Galaxy S3 is the menu button. Since there is a menu button on the Galaxy S3, it doesn't take much space on the screen, unlike the HTC Butterfly, which, while opening some apps which do not support the holo-styled options menu, it takes a large amount of space completely here to display just the options button. But that can be changed with the hack, and long pressing any button can come up with that menu. That was changed with the 1X firmware, but it does not exist on the HTC Butterfly. So the multitasking switcher, though, can be accessed on the Galaxy S3 by long pressing the home button, while the long pressing on the home button takes you to the Google Now on the HTC Butterfly. So that's about some of the differences. There are a lot more features in the Galaxy S3, like it's going to bring the multi-screen option that is on the Note 2. It's part of the premium suite features pack that Samsung's introducing with all its phones. So other things like S-Voice and S-Planner, S-Suggest, S-Memo, all these things are exclusive to Samsung TouchWiz devices. And also there is this thing called Pop-Up Play. So let me just pull out a video for you and show you how the pop-up play works. So this is one video that is default on the so this is the pop-up play feature that lets you watch a video while doing everything else. So that's a cool thing for the Samsung Galaxy S3 and other Galaxy devices enabled with this feature. So finally, Samsung has done a lot of things with its software on Android. while Sense is a neat look at Android with a lot of custom elements added by HTC, especially the UI elements like the weather, which is nice eye candy. So that's about the comparison between the HTC Butterfly and the Samsung Galaxy S3. Do hit the like button if you like this video, and for more comparison videos you can hit subscribe button above, and you can go to our channel and check out other videos. So thanks for watching, and that's about it. This is Bharadwaj from Phone Arena signing off.